Hi, everybody. This is Joe with SunPath Solutions. Just wanted to thank you all for coming and supporting us in our business launch. I just want to jump right into it. So you may have heard of us through Triangle Solar. We've been in business for a couple of years now, focusing on residential solar. And now over the past couple of years, as we have built our business and grown into some different markets, different areas, different products, we needed a business name that will really more encompass everything that we do and who we are. So we got together and my wife and I decided to really look at what we're doing, and we came up with SunPath Solutions. So we are not a new company. We've been around for a little while. We're just changing our name, and we hope you guys will really appreciate what we've got and what we got going on here. So why are we changing? So as I said, Triangle Solar was originally launched, focused on residential solar. And as you could see in the name, we were focused pretty much on the Triangle, North Carolina area. As we developed, we saw a bigger need and found ourselves expanding into a lot of different areas. So now we're offering residential solar, we offer commercial solar. We have been doing home security systems with ADT, independent of this, so we're bringing that in, as well as business security through that ADT system as well. We offer roofing services, and we are continuing to expand as we partner up with other businesses that are related and we feel are going to serve you well through SunPath. So as of right now, our core services are still the solar. We do new installations of solar systems, partnering with that through the roofing companies we've worked with. There's roofing as well. So we can offer, when you go and put solar on your house, if your roof is old or there's damage on it or something of that nature, and you want to get that taken care of before you put the solar panels up, we can help you in doing that, either through our own means or using some of the local roofing partners that we have secured relationships with. We can also do add-on solar. So if you have a solar system that maybe you bought a house a few years ago and it had a small solar system on it already, but it's not sufficient to take care of your home's need, and you want to add more panels, we can help you do that. And then on top of that, we do security systems. We've worked with ADT in a good majority of our markets, and I also have some relationships with Brinks as well. So here's our team. So we're a family company. So it's myself. I am the CEO and head of sales and business development. So I've been in solar for a couple of years now. Before that, I actually launched under an ADT home security, and we did that. And before that, my background is basically project management, program management in the healthcare industry. So did that for like 20 years. And before that, I was actually in sales prior to starting into that career. So I've got about a good 15, 20 years worth of sales experience as well, in addition to project management and all that kind of stuff. So I've sold everything from vacuum cleaners to sewing machines to cars, and into what we're doing today. My wife, Bethany, is our chief financial officer and social media director. So she knows the Instagrams and Facebook and such better than I do. So she manages all that. She comes from a healthcare background as well. So she was a nurse for many years. And then through our business ventures, we've been able to retire her, and she's now full-time with the business and taking care of our chief distraction officer, who is Gabriel right there. So we try to involve him in the business as much as we can. And as you can see, he's a deep thinker, and we appreciate all his deep thoughts. So what are we looking into? Okay, so one of the things that really we looked into, and what motivated us into SunPath Solutions is in the past couple of years being in the solar industry, I've watched a lot of different companies. I was involved in a few and others that I was just on the sidelines looking in and watching how they operated. And I found a lot of solar companies just really did what I call high volume, high pace solar sales. They would do things like grab a bunch of guys, throw them in a van, go into a neighborhood, dump them all out, and they'd go running around knocking on doors, getting people to hand them a power bill and say, hey, somebody's going to come back later and talk to you about solar. And they would come back a day or two later and pitch this whole thing really fast and try to talk these homeowners into signing a bunch of paperwork and getting things going as quickly and as aggressively as they possibly could. As I looked into this and I talked to some of these homeowners, a lot of them were saying, hey, well, this guy knocked on my door. I don't know who he is. I haven't seen him since. And I'm not really sure what I bought. All I know is I've got solar coming on my house. And we looked at that and we thought, we want to do this differently. Because one, solar, it's, you're not going down the grocery store and just buying a couple of solar panels. It's an investment. It's a long-term investment. It's something that if this is your forever home, you're going to be made into that solar system for a good 25, 30 years. Even if you leave that house and you move on, whoever is coming in and buying your home behind you is going to have that as well. So you really need to know what are you buying? What kind of panels do you have? What sort of inverters? What is all this going to do for you? And what are the benefits of this? And we weren't finding that these solar companies were offering that. So we decided to take a step back and take a look and say, how can we offer this? And this is where the concierge service comes in. So what we do now is we help you through the entire process from the time we meet you in the very beginning all the way until the permission to operate is granted from the power company and everything. You're going to know who we are. You're going to know how to get in touch with us. If you have questions about what's going on throughout the entire process, you're always going to have somebody you can talk to. And so that's what we want to do. So how our process actually works now is instead of just getting in really fast and signing some paperwork and send you on your way, I break this down into 3 steps. So first step is going to be either a phone call or a Zoom. And if I could do Zoom, I would much rather do it. That way we can at least see each other face to face. And then we're going to have good 30-minute discussion. And I'm going to ask you all the things. What are you looking for? Why are you looking into solar? Tell me about your house. Tell me about your family. How many air conditioners? How old is the roof? All these things. And then at the end of that meeting, I'm going to ask you to go around and take pictures of the circuit panel, take pictures of your air conditioner and all these kind of things, and send that over to me. And when you do that, I'm going to take all that data and all the information that you told me, and I'm going to custom design a solar system that's going to fit for your family and for your needs. Then a few days later, we're going to come back and do this presentation, and I'm going to explain everything about what I came up with, what kind of panels, what kind of inverters, why I selected all these things, and how this is going to benefit you for the years going down the road. At that point, if you want to sign paperwork and get started, that's great. If you want to say, hey, I want to go over this with my wife, my husband, what have you, and we want to just really chew on this for a few days before we make a decision to do that, that's fine. And I totally expect that. So that's why I have the 3 steps. So the third one there is your decision. So we will get back a third time with your decision. And if you're like, hey, we just decided solar's not for us, that's perfectly fine as well. So, and hopefully in the future, maybe that will change. But I just want to make this very low pressure and so that when you you're ready to go and you're ready to sign the paperwork and get things started, there's no question that you feel like you're making the right decision. So where do we serve? Okay, so as I said before, we've expanded out from North Carolina into a lot of different areas. So we are what we call a solar brokerage. We work with a couple of different companies. Power, Empower, and Encore are the ones that we've been working with for several months now. And through those organizations, we've basically secured the ability to take care of you in any of one of those orange states. Autopilot is one we actually just started a few days ago. And through that, we are actually now nationwide. So through Autopilot, we are now a SunPower authorized dealer. SunPower actually is in every state in the country. So if you have a vacation home in upstate Washington and you want to put solar on it, I can help you do that. If you have, a friend who has a cabin up in Maine, wants to put solar on it, we can help you do that. So please reach out to me, not only for your places in North Carolina, but we can serve you just about anywhere in the country at this point. So we do our bread and butter is residential solar. So why people are really looking into solar for their homes these days, the big driving factor right now still is that federal tax credit. So they want the 30%, and that's really an attractive reason to go solar. So right now, say, give you a round number, you've got a solar system, it costs $30,000 to put this thing together. That 30% federal tax credit is going to take $9,000 off the cost of that. So that will be taken care of by the federal tax credit, and then now you only have to pay the remainder. Now it is a tax credit, so I do ask you to consult with your CPAs, consult with financial advisors, what have you, in how to best utilize that program, because it is a tax credit. You won't, when you do this, you're still, if you do a $30,000 solar system, you're gonna fork out $30,000 initially, and then that 30% of that will come back in your tax credit on the next time you file your taxes. The next reason is basically to lower or stabilize your electric bill. So I have 50 years worth of data that shows that the average rate increase of electricity across the country is a little bit over 8%. So every single year you can expect to go up about that much. Some years it's more, some years it's less. A couple of years ago, Pennsylvania had a 45% rate increase in 1 year. Southern California over the past 5 years has seen about 85% rate increases. A couple of weeks ago, Texas, they have an unregulated market, so their power fluctuates day by day, and they had a day where just the demand was so high that their rate increase went up 1,600% in 1 day. Now, it was a spike and it came back down, but that's where that stabilization comes into play. You don't know, homeowners now are just like, all right, so is my electricity bill going to be $150 this month, or is it going to be $350 this month? We don't know. We'll find out when the bill comes in. So what this does is it allows you to stabilize that and know that, okay, if I'm on a lease program or I'm financing it, that, all right, this is what my electricity costs pretty much every year or every month. And then year by year, it doesn't go up, because like a fixed rate mortgage, you pay your mortgage rate for 30 years, even though inflation and all that kind of stuff is going up, your mortgage payment stays the same because it operates outside of all those other factors that are happening in the financial markets. And this does the same thing. It flatlines it. And then, of course, the next driving factor is just kind of a luxury thing. So batteries are becoming more prevalent. People are really getting into it, and they just like the idea that when the power goes out, their lights stay on. And that happens more than you realize. We have an old, aging infrastructure. There's, and then we're susceptible to things like thunderstorms, ice storms, hurricanes, some drunk driver running down the road and slams his car into a pole and knocks the power lines down. Any number of things will take the power out. So why, if we don't have to live like that, why do it? And people are starting to realize that and coming around to asking questions about this. So other considerations when you're thinking about solar, solar does add value to your property. So Zillow shows 4.1% for average per home. And there are several other entities out there that have their own assessments, but that we have about 20 years worth of data that shows that we really do see a bump in property value on adding solar to your home. It's about the only thing that you can add to your home that has little to no maintenance. So there's no moving parts on these things. They just sit up there, bake in the sun, turn sunlight into electricity, and that's it. It just sits there. About the only thing you have to do as far as maintenance on the regular is maybe every couple of years go up there and blast a hose on it with a little scrubby and get the bird poop off of it. But that's about it. And even a lot of the panel manufacturers will tell you that the rain takes care of it. So it is pretty maintenance free. And then last consideration is, hey, do you want to purchase it? Do you want to finance it? Or do you want to lease it? And there's a lot of different scenarios there. We have our purchase options are anything from 5 years to 25 years, varying interest rates. It really depends on what you need, what your desires are. Right now, I would say if you can pay cash for a solar system, it's beneficial to do so. The old saying, cash is king, is true in solar as well. So right now, my recommendation typically in that realm is if you can pay cash, purchase it. If you can't pay cash, the next best option is a lease. And then if that's not something you're interested in, then I would look into some of the finance options. And we can go into that in a lot more detail when we sit down and talk about solar for your home. So commercial is a whole new realm for us, and we are very excited about it. One of the nice things that we like about commercial solar is, in addition to the federal tax credit that's 30%, there's a whole lot more tax benefits on the commercial side. So if we can source domestic content, there's an additional 10% tax credit. If you are in an energy community, it's another 10% on top of that. And those are stackable. So say like this one, you've got the investment tax credit, 30%. If you're in the energy community, 10%, domestic, 10%. So that's 50% off on your solar system right there. In addition to that, you get to claim standard and bonus depreciation. I defer to your CPA on that one, on what the value of that is, but bonus depreciation could be pretty strong in and of itself. And then, of course, you have your reduced power bill. In addition to that, if you happen to be in a rural area, if you have a small business in a rural area and you've been thinking about solar, let's talk. We need to talk very soon, because the REAP grant is out there, and that's closing up in the next couple of months. In September is going to be the last round on the REAP grant. What that is, in addition, so these over here are all tax credits, and these all come back to you after you do your taxes next year. REAP grant, first of all, it's worth up to 50% of the cost of the solar system, and it's money up front. So we will help you apply for it, and if you get it, you will actually have money in your bank account to pay for your solar system before we put glass on the roof. So if you're interested in looking into that, we really, really need to talk, because the timeline is closing fast on that one. So even if you get, say, 50% on that, 30% on the tax credit there, 10% and 10%, looking at that right now, that's the entire cost of your solar system has just been paid for with tax incentives and grants. And I haven't even talked about depreciation yet. So that's the value of solar on the commercial side.
2 questions, Joe. So I think you have to identify or clarify that tax credits are a dollar for dollar reduction of your tax liability, as opposed to just reducing your taxable income, which reduces your tax bracket, not necessarily dollar for dollar. The other is the depreciation recoverable at any time or reclaimable? Like if you take depreciation on a rental property, when you sell the property, you have to add back the depreciation you took.
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to talk to my CPA on that one to understand how to properly explain what you just asked.
Okay.
So yeah, let me find out on that. But yes, it is. But as far as those are the credits. Yeah, those are dollar for dollar credits. So credit means, yeah, and once you get done and you get your taxable, this is how much you owe in taxes this year, then we put in the credits and lower it from there. Now on the residential and I'll double check on this, but on the commercial side, I believe it's true as well. If you get done and then you start factoring in the credits here, and it brings your tax bill down to 0, it stops at 0. So anything beyond
So the
that,
phrase is the credits are not refundable.
Correct. They can't, yeah, you can't go negative on the credits. So what would happen is that your taxable, your tax bill.
So give an example. If you do your tax return and it comes out that you owe
$17,000 or something on your taxes for the year, and then you factor in all this, and say you got a big solar system, you're on commercial, you got a big solar system, and your tax, all these turn out to be $25,000 worth of credits. You would claim the $17,000 this year. It would bring your tax liability to 0, and then the remainder of that would roll over to your taxes for next year.
Correct. Carry forward,
and then it would roll out until it's gone. So there's theory. Some say you can roll it out for as much as 10 years. Others will say unlimited. People go back and forth on that one, but typically usually within 3 years, you can claim it all anyway. So even if your tax liability is not that high, you would claim it all by then. So these are some of our projects we've done the past few years. So just give you an idea of what solar looks like. So the panels are nice, clean black panels now. We don't do any. So you've probably seen some older ones that had the white lines in them and such. We don't do that anymore. These just they look really nice on the homes and on the businesses too. You might see on the industrial side, we do have some panels that still have the white lines in them. But even in that realm, we're kind of getting away from those now. So just the black on blacks just look so much better, and everybody likes them better. So that's what we're doing. So we would love to help you out. And if you would like to go solar with us, please feel free. If you scan that QR code right there, that'll take you to our website. Leave this up for a second so you can take a screenshot of this page if you'd like to. So please call us, please email us, and say, hey, let's get together and talk about it more. In addition, we are looking for partners. So if you are, say you have a roofing business, say you have an air conditioning business, and you want to get into doing some solar, we'd love to talk to you about that. Please scan this QR code, and that will bring you to our calendar, and we will schedule a time to get together and talk about what that looks like and how we can work together. In addition, if you know anyone who needs solar, we have a great referral program. For anyone who goes solar with us that you send to us, we will pay you anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for each one of those clients. So, and how that basically works is if it's $500, it's a lease. If it's $1,000 for a purchase. So thanks for coming. We really appreciate you joining our launch party today. So here's our different ways to get in touch with us. So please scan those QR codes and talk to us. And we'd love to help you and take care of you. Thanks.